In today's society, people who are homeless face the danger of being oppressed, rejected, and are often mistreated because of society's attitudes towards homeless people. An attitude is the value a person assigns to something or someone. This is simply an individual's positive or negative perception about a person, place, or thing. Attitude formation occurs through either personal experience, the persuasion of others, or the power of the media. The ABC model explains how our attitudes are formed. The affective component is based on the emotions or feelings associated with a particular idea, object, or person. For instance, a person could have the attitude of, I'm scared to walk next to a homeless person on the street. The behavioral component is the likelihood or tendency that an individual will undertake a specific action or behave in a particular way with regard to the attitude object. An example of this is, I will avoid homeless people and scream if one approaches me. The cognitive component is the knowledge and perceptions that are required by a combination of direct experience with the attitude. For instance, a person receives information, evaluates, and then decides the position. An example is, I believe homeless people are dangerous. We as humans begin to construct our attitudes through our family, our friends, our culture, cognitive dissonance, school, the media, and by the suburbs we live in. The term homeless is broad, and while everyone has a different experience of being homeless, at its very core, being homeless is about absence. An absence of a home, a safe place to live, security, choices, and control over one's life. Domestic and family violence, intergenerational poverty, financial crisis, social exclusion, mental illness, and exiting prison. Our attitudes also directly alter our behavior. For instance, our attitude towards the homeless will determine whether we stop and give someone money on a street corner or donate to a homeless charity. According to a 2015 Salvation Army poll, 4 in 10 Australians think that the homeless are lazy, freeloaders, stupid failures, or not working hard enough. These might seem like easy conclusions to those of us who've never experienced the plight of being homeless and the devastating repercussions. These stereotypes made by society can define and calibrate how we respond as a community, rather than address the underlying long-term causes of homelessness. To be named as a homeless person can be stereotypical. Despite the diversity of experience of homelessness, those who accept the homeless label internalize the rejection and even dehumanization that homeless people experience from mainstream society. This is associated with significant social and emotional costs. Thus, it appears that when it comes to mental health, we adopt a label to describe ourselves. We start to think, act, and behave in ways that align with the stereotypes of that label given to us by society. The damage to self-esteem and the disconnection from society can have devastating consequences. The process of becoming homeless is traumatic in itself, and with that comes particular behaviors, reactions, and high-stress situations. This compounded trauma can impact some in worse ways than others. That's why it's important we as a society don't stereotype homeless people. The media plays an important role in shaping people's attitudes towards a person who is homeless. The issue of homelessness is also inaccurately depicted through all media platforms. Often in the media, the audience sees either a success story of an individual who rose out of homelessness or a story of a homeless individual who was caught in a situation involving drugs or illegal activity. We see either very good stories that makes us hopeful for humanity or very negative depictions of people living on the streets who are wrapped up in drugs. So we as a society turn a blind eye when we interact and socialize with people that the news media warns us about. Both of these stereotypical forms blind us to the reality of the issue of homelessness, and only when we separate ourselves from this view can we begin to see the problem as one that is not an individual issue but a societal problem, one that needs our constant attention, pity, and effort. Constantly being exposed to the stereotypical portrayals of homelessness in the media leads us to fall prey to adopting these problematic perceptions of it, which separates society from the issues that most need our attention and empathy. Society's attitudes impact a homeless person to the point where they dehumanize themselves as a human being. Imagine sitting down on the floor and you see people avoiding you or making negative comments. It can affect you both mentally and physically. This can make you feel isolated to friends, family, embarrassed, and ashamed, and can cause a loss of dignity.